Welcome back to DMZ, Dolphins Media Zone. I am Miss Phins. You also got Big C in the building. Talk to us, Big C. How you
What
doing?
up, what up, what up? How's everybody doing tonight? Glad to be here for another episode of DMZ with Miss Phins. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button. And yeah,
Yes.
glad to be here.
Oh man, this is week one. Finally, we got week one, ladies and gentlemen, in the books. This is gonna be amazing. Now, obviously, this is Dolphin Media Zone. We're gonna give you a couple of things here as well for the NFL. We're gonna talk about upset game, or at least who we think is going to be upset game of the week. And we're also going to give you our power rankings, the top five and bottom five teams that we think it's going to go into week one. But I did want to go ahead and bring up because this is, about rumors and things going on. So I wanted to get your point, Big C. What is up with Tyreek not getting that C on his chest, man? What's going
I mean,
on?
I think everybody knew he knew that that wasn't going to happen this year. It was expected. I don't think it came out of left field or anything. It's not as big a deal as everybody's trying to make it out to be. I've seen a couple different podcasts where people were saying, "Oh, Tyreek's getting traded before week one. Oh, he's faking the oblique so he can make Tua look stupid. This, that, and the third." Listen, it's Tua. Tyreek knew this was coming. Tyreek knew this was coming. It's not a surprise. You know, there's ramifications for people's actions, and this was one of them, right? So not a huge deal. There's a lot of other players on this team that don't have a C on their chest, and you could make a case for them. Why is Jalen Waddle been here for as long as he has, and he doesn't have a C on his chest? Uh, who else is there? People are saying, why doesn't Fitzpatrick have a C on his chest, even though he's just getting back, even because he's one of our best players. Players. Not everybody can be a captain, and Tyreek isn't a locker room leader. He is our best player, but is he really a locker room leader? Not a big deal. Can't hear you.
Of course, I was muted. Of course. This is the thing. I don't know because last time I checked, I thought Tyreek, see, if he is the best player, don't you like? I almost feel like it's kind of automatic that that player gets to see on his chest. It's not always gonna be about being a locker room, person or a leader. Is a leader by, the leading with the points. I mean, I don't know. Okay, my next question to you is: do you think that specifically Tua, because he's the one really calling it out here, uh, do you think he has the standing to be calling out Tyreek? Especially since Tua, a lot of people say he hasn't lived up to his draft status of, being drafted fifth overall. Do you think he's got the juice to be the one,
I
calling
mean, I
out
think
Tyreek?
I think he's got to be right. He's the quarterback of this team. He is the leader of this team. If he wasn't calling out Tyreek, people would have an issue with that. You know what I've learned about this fan base, and when it comes to Tua Tagovailoa, you got half that are gonna complain when he does something, the other half when he doesn't. You're never gonna make everybody happy. Tua is the quarterback of this football team. He's been here for numerous years. He's a good player when he's on the field typically. You know what I mean? And I think he's trying to take that next step of this being his football team, and you know that's his job, is to call out the players that don't do the things the Miami Dolphins way. So I'm all right with it. Again, it's not about what your rating is on Madden, right? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
If that was the case, then a lot of wide receivers in this league would be just doing anything they wanted, because there's a lot of wide receivers that are the best players on their football team. And someone's got to call them out, whether Tua's rated 73 on Madden or
Yeah.
90. I mean,
again, I mean, but I just almost feel like because Tua hasn't, or at least some people would perceive, let me put it that way, that Tua hasn't really lived up to his fifth overall pick, that he's got nothing to say. Like, sit down. Like, what are you talking about? Because at the end of the day, if it wasn't for Tyreek, would Tua even have any success, if we're being honest?
I mean, I think Tua's shown stuff before Tyreek got here. Did he show the level of success that he did after Tyreek? No, obviously not. But I mean, Tua was winning games with Devontae Parker, and Jakeem Grant. You know what I mean? So it's not like Tua was a straight bum. And people can feel the way they feel about Tua. They can feel like he's not elite, which he isn't. But Tua is the quarterback, and that is his job. It's his responsibility to be the leader of this football team.
Mm, okay. Well, you know what? If that's how you feel, I get it. I totally understand. That's why I wanted to ask the question, because I've heard from different people. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I get it. Maybe he's messed up in the off season, but for the most part, Tyreek has shown up in season at games. So I don't know. He leads on the field, is what I'm trying to say. Maybe not necessarily in the locker room. That should also be taken into account. But I guess
except when
people don't.
except when he pulled himself out the game. You know what I mean? And listen, I'm one of the people that support Tyreek, and I'm not making as big a deal as some people do about Tyreek taking him out the last game of the season that was meaningless. You know, should he have done it? No, but I'm not one of those people that crucified Tyreek Hill. But you know, Tyreek has been good on the field. He has he has done the right thing for the most part, except when you pulled yourself out the game. You know what I mean? And did Tua crucify him into the public? No, but he said there was issues that they had to work through, which there was. I mean, Tua don't lie. If there's one thing about Tua is he doesn't lie. He tells it how it is.
Uh,
Sometimes to a fault. You know what I mean? Maybe
I will give
I
you that. Yes, I will give you that. I will give you that. He really, sometimes to a fault, he does say what he's thinking, which might not necessarily be in his best interest, if we're gonna be honest. But I don't know if I necessarily 100% agree with the fact that that just because he is honest, that I still think Tyreek shouldn't have been. And plus, this whole Tyreek taking himself out, some would argue that the team gave up on him. All he did was just sit down. That's it. The team gave up on the season. So why should he go out here and injure himself
because you get paid $30 million a year. You know what I mean? Like
and Tua gets
he
paid
gets
30-some million a year now? So
I mean, Tua makes even more than that, but you know what I mean. Tua plays when Tua can. I mean, it's not like Tua's doing it when he can't. You know what I mean? It's not like Tua's not playing when he's able to play. Yes, Tua is injury prone, but I mean, that's not Tua's fault necessarily. You know what I mean? That's the Miami Dolphins' fault for giving him the contract,
yeah,
investing in a quarterback that can't stay healthy.
but who's to say Tyreek wasn't like ultimately injured and he's like, I can't take it no more. I can't take this pain no more, and that's why he set out.
But that's not what is being said. You know what I mean? If that was
Did
the
you see that
case,
from?
then
Did you hear that
if
from
that's
his
the
mouth or
if
no?
that's the case, then speak up. But that's not what was said. And by by what we've seen, he was just angry, as you know, evidenced by his after game rant. And I get
Dang,
it. I get it. I get it. I get
I
him
can't
being frustrated.
believe you, man. I I just nah. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me, but I still think I'm not gonna go ahead and down him, especially when he's literally the entire offense.
I'm
Because
not put listen, I'm not putting him down. I'm not. I don't think it's as big a deal as people make it out to be. I get it. I get it. You play the whole damn season hurt. He could have sat out all year and collected a paycheck. I'm not one of those people. Don't get me wrong.
well,
I'm just saying where this is all coming from. If you, whether I agree with you or not, if you put yourself in a position to get criticized, you can't be mad if someone criticizes you. You know what I mean?
I mean that, yeah, that is true, but that goes to anybody that's in the public face. You know what I
I'm
mean?
not mad.
So
I'm not mad if he sat out the second half of that game. We couldn't go to the playoffs. Why go out there and risk getting more hurt? You know what I mean? Why? We seen we seen Bradley Chubb playing the end of a game that was meaningless get hurt, and we missed him for a whole year. We seen Jalen Phillips get hurt at the end of a Jets game and miss a year and a half. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I'm not mad at him at all. I don't fault him. I'm just saying when you do stuff like that, you leave the door open for people to take some shots at you.
yeah, but I mean, we got G. Shout out to everybody in the building. I see you, Michael K. I see you, G. Ryan AP in the building. Thank you so much, guys, for coming through. Hit that like button, subscribe. Also, go to Fin Posse Podcast. Go subscribe as well, guys. Listen, he said wrist injury means he played until it didn't mean anything. Cops hurt his wrist week 1. Oh,
I mean, to
he
be
did get
fair,
that injury week 1.
his wrist was hurt before the cops. He had told the cops I just had surgery on my wrist. So I mean, his
And
wrist was hurt before the cops. They didn't do him no justice. You know what I mean? But he was dealing with the wrist surgery even before week 1.
okay, what do you think about after playing with a hurt wrist, 17 games? Give me a break. Tyree gave it all his season. Tua quit week 2 when he ran his concussion prone head into the heart.
Again, I'm not going against Tyreek. Tyreek didn't have to play not one single snap last year,
uh,
and he could have collected a paycheck. So I'm not going against Tyreek. So give me a break. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about the guy. I'm just saying you can't get mad if someone criticizes you when you do something that you're not supposed to do.
but the thing is the assumption of him being, oh, he took himself out. Like, how do we know it's not injury? How do we know? Like, maybe he's just letting everybody talk just to talk. You know what I mean? But I just don't want to assume that, oh, he just did it just because he's quit on the team. I think that's also a little bit
I mean, he gave you
concerning.
clues with the rant in the, you know what I mean? He gave you clues.
Yeah, but
You know
but
what I mean?
you've played competitive sport. You've played team sports, right? You've played team
Absolutely. Yeah,
sports. So
absolutely.
you know when you're a competitor, you want to compete no matter what.
100.
You put everything on there. So
100%. 100%.
you could understand. I understand his frustration being, it's like, damn, I'm trying to do all this. I'm playing injured, and you guys still don't want to go ahead and execute. You don't want to. You don't want to do what we need you to do.
But I mean, he's run around and he's done numerous interviews where he's not saying that that's why he took himself out the game though. I mean, he's saying that he shouldn't have did what he did. You know what I mean? So if Tyreek's not speaking up on it, I mean,
Okay. All right.
that's if Tyreek was hurt and that's why he took himself out, which we know he was hurt. If that's why he took himself out the game, Tyreek needs to speak up for himself and say, "Hey, listen, I took myself out the game because I was hurt." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't have believed him anyways, but you know, that to me, I still think I I don't put too much stock to it. So I totally understand you saying, like, I'm not gonna crucify him for doing that 100%, but but I also understand why Tua will feel that way. So I get it. I just still don't think that that should be a reason why he doesn't get a C on his chest. The man is a Super Bowl winning wide receiver, has been number 1 in the league. Top 10 in the last 6 since he's been in the league. He's been top 10, actually. Let's be honest. And the only time he's never made the playoffs in his entire career was last year when we went 8-9. So I can understand his frustration as, being like, what more do you want from me, Miami, when I'm giving you so much, and all you're using me is to go 100%, like 0 to 100, and then all I'm being is just a decoy, so you don't pass it to the person that needs to get the pass, and then get the touchdown or get the first down or whatever
You're
it is.
you're right, and I get the frustration. I do. But again, we don't know if Tyreek is. I mean, I think Tyreek knew this was coming. I don't think Tyreek's probably as upset about it and making a big deal about it as the media is. You know what I mean?
Mm. Well, I figured, this is what we do. We talk about the media. We talk about
Oh
the
yeah,
Dolphins. We
definitely.
gotta
You
bring
got
it
to talk
up.
about it. You
We
got to
gotta
talk
talk
about it.
about it because to me it's still important because I know people have had shows on this like, oh, what do you mean? Like, oh, is this finally it? He's gonna get cut? Like, are we not? Too many things came out from this, so that's why I figured we talk about it. Have you seen anything else now? Anything else like any other drama out there for the Dolphins? Because that to me that was the main one that I saw in the last couple weeks. Other than that, I don't know. I feel like we've been kind of status quo. What do you think so far when it comes to like Dolphins media or like after outside of the football field?
I mean, I think the national media is not giving us much of a chance. Uh, I'm worried about the injuries. Um, I think Darren Waller's situation's real weird. He's been here for what, a month and a half now, and still not in the starting lineup at practice. Not really practicing, which is real weird to me. Like, how you getting in football shape if you're not practicing? You know what I mean? Like, you already came in great shape. You know what I mean? From reports, you got abs popping out everywhere. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
why aren't you practicing with the team? You got to get used to getting hit again. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a callus. You work your hands, work your hands, and finally they become callous, and you get used to it. I think
Mhm.
football is the same way. You know what I mean? And it's very weird that he hasn't been practicing. And then the injury concerns, the oblique with Tyreek, the the Achan injury, with the calf, Austin Jackson. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are important pieces to this football team, and we need them healthy. We need them healthy. We've had bad luck with injuries with this franchise for a lot of years, especially with the Mike McDaniel era, and we need this team to be healthy.
Oh, see, now I gotta push back on this a little bit, only because this is exactly what Greer wanted. Christopher Greer has got nothing but the bottom of the barrel injured players. And I say this all the time on my channel. Like, this is second chance you. If you're injured or coming off of an injury, please call Miami Dolphins Christopher Greer for a second opportunity in the NFL. Because I'm telling you right now, it's almost a commercial, and I don't understand how the fan base doesn't see. At the end of the season, it's always, oh my God, we're so injured. But all we get are injured players. 95% of our free agents all injured or coming off an injury.
Yeah,
And then even some of the people we draft have had
yeah,
some injuries, and you're like, did we really just draft this kid? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I get it, giving them an opportunity, taking a flyer, but you take a flyer in you maybe like the sixth, seventh round, maybe even the fifth round, but we're out here taking guys in the second and third who
The first
coming off
round, Tyreek,
multiple.
Tua Tagovailoa, first round. Austin Jackson, first round. Jalen Phillips, first round.
I
I
was
mean,
trying not to be that obvious, but even the
yeah,
first round, like
you're absolutely you're absolutely right.
this is all Greer, so that's why I'm a proponent of I don't want to hear we're injured. This is what we brought in. Like, now you can't account for injuries, but you can minimize injuries by having guys that stay healthy. They can have injuries, but show you, oh snap, yeah, he had an injury or whatever, but look, he's been the last 2, 3 years pretty good, just tweaks
Mhm.
here and there. We
Yep.
don't get those guys. We'll get the
Yep.
guys that he's never been injured, but just came off of a knee injury. Like what are we doing?
Yep.
It's
You're right.
100% career.
You're right.
So
I mean, injuries. I mean, let's be real. Injuries are a reason that you can lose a football game, but it is definitely on our front office for bringing in players that have injury histories.
exactly.
So I mean, you're absolutely correct.
That's my frustration with this team. But we're gonna have to see what we end up doing. So this is interesting. And guys, shout out to everybody. I see you, Cap, in the building. Thank you so much. Hit that like button, guys. Now I want to go to, like, we have it set up. We want to talk about our power rankings, the bottom five teams, the top five teams, and then we'll finish off with the upset of the week. But before I do, anybody else that you think we're gonna end up actually hearing more stuff besides Waller or even Tyreek? Anybody that you think that might come up with a random injury or random something where you're like, this can't be it.
I mean,
Anybody?
I don't think so. I think the beginning of the season is going to be very telling. I think I'm probably going to do a video about it for tomorrow. Uh, there's three different outcomes I can see happening from this season, three different scenarios. Uh, and I think we'll know at the beginning of the season, because if we start off the season slow, who knows what's going to happen, right? Because the second half of the season, that's much more of a gauntlet. You know what I mean? We got a bunch of tough games in a row. Uh, the strength of our schedules at the end. So if we start off slow, this could get ugly quick. Or we get things going in the right direction and have a successful season, and hopefully overcome some of our past um the past narratives that have haunted this football team. But no, I don't think there's anything else that is really newsworthy that's going to happen before week 1. You know what I mean? Uh, we're here. Now it's time to put up and shut up and see what this team's made of.
Okay, good. Because at this point, that's exactly where I'm at. I think it's gonna be very interesting to see what the Dolphins end up doing. But we have, and I'm pulling it up right now. We have all 32 teams. Now we get to see who do we think, as far as power rankings, who do we have, and who do we expect to go ahead and actually be something this is. So let's go with the bottom five teams, ladies and gentlemen. The bottom five teams. Show me, who do you think out of all the teams, Big C, that you think is gonna actually end up being one of those bottom five teams, or the bottom five teams overall.
Um, I was trying to put my list together. I think the worst team in the NFL that I don't find a lot of positives with is probably the New Orleans Saints. I think the Saints are gonna be absolutely horrible this year. I find I have trouble finding even a win, really. I don't find any games that I feel comfortable saying, yeah, that's a win for the Saints. Um, I think they're gonna seriously struggle. I think they're gonna be at the very top of the draft when April, May comes along, whenever the draft is. Um, I just don't see them having very much success. After
Mm,
that, I think I got the Titans. Cam Ward, I think if this was any other draft, he might not even have been a top uh, first round draft pick. Honestly, I don't have a lot of
you think
confidence in
so?
him. They're obviously rebuilding. Yeah, Cam Ward is not it for me. I don't. I think this was an absolute horrible draft class for quarterbacks. Uh, 30, 30. I'm gonna say the Jets. I think Justin Fields is a bum. He's not a legit quarterback. He's a great athlete, but I think he's a bum.
A bum.
Um, not very good. Um, After that, I think I got the Carolina Panthers. They played better last year. And I'm going to go Jacksonville Jaguars, actually. Jacksonville Jaguars, I think they made a massive mistake with the Trevor Lawrence deal. Um, I don't think they're a very good team. Yeah, they got Travis Hunter. Does he play offense? Does he play defense? Who knows? I think they're going to try to play him on both sides of the ball because that's what he wants. But I think that's a mistake. This is a different level. This isn't college football anymore. Um,
Mm.
it takes for him to stay healthy and play both sides of the ball. I think he's going to end up getting hurt. To be honest, uh, who knows what they're doing at running back? They seem to have moved on from what's his face. Who was their starting halfback? Um, the kid from Clemson.
Mm.
Uh, well, Bigsby is now their it seems like their starter. Um, they got they got a great young wide receiver in Brian Thomas, but I just see them struggling. And then I will say the Carolina Panthers and New York Giants right in that range. I think the Giants are gonna be decent. I just think they got a hell of a schedule this year. I think they will be improved from last year, but I think they're just gonna, their schedule is really tough, so I don't see them winning a lot of games. But I think they're gonna improve, and that's my bottom five. So the Saints, the Titans, the Jets, the Panthers, and the Giants.
That's who you got as far as
Oh,
the.
the Browns. I forgot the Browns. Jeez. Put,
Oh my
listen,
guy, that's what
put
I
the
was like. All
put the
right,
put the Browns right after the
appreciate you.
Saints.
Okay, yeah, because I was
My
like,
fault. My
because I was
fault.
thinking, dang, with these teams, my fault. You saw it when you saw the picture. You're like, oh snap!
Yep.
I
It
completely,
popped right up.
yep. I was, because I was thinking, I'm like, man, this is gonna be a very interesting season. When you think about all the teams coming in, right? You kind of expect for for bottom teams to kind of just be perennial bottom teams until they kind of figure it out. Like the Lions used to be perennial bottom,
Yep.
team, but then they figured it out, and then you're like, okay, this is it. But my thing is, I almost feel like it's kind of it. I don't want to solidify it. Now. I'm gonna give you who I think possibly, and I think that you came up with like one of the best examples, which would be the Saints. You really don't hear any changes about the Saints, and I do have them as a bottom five team for me. But I think the worst team, like number five, the worst team in the league, where I truly don't think that anybody like they're really going to do much. Even though I think they got some promising, I gotta put the Panthers at five. As like the very last, like, or I guess 32 if you want to look at it that way. I think the Panthers are gonna end up. They just got rid of Thielen, who's going back to Minnesota, who I thought is a great piece to the offense, but not really being utilized. We don't really know what we could expect from Bryce Young. He had some flashes last year, but again, you kind of have to. It's a more of a wait and see. I don't want to call him a bust. You gotta wait till at least um until at least he's playing multiple years in order for you to do it and to really see. Okay, you can judge him plenty of games underneath him, but I would say definitely. I just don't trust. I don't trust the team. I don't trust the organization. Honestly, I think the best player they've ever had in the last 15 years. There's two of them. One, Cam Newton. I mean, that's kind of easy. And two, Luke Kuechly. And then I guess if you want to go three, CMC when CMC got traded to them. But other than
Like
that,
Steve Smith, Julius Peppers, they had
I
some good
said I
players
said
in
the
there.
last 15 years. I didn't go 20 years where Peppers was still playing. I said 15 years. Peppers wasn't
I mean,
playing in 15 years.
it wasn't that long ago. Peppers was in the league. I mean,
I'm just saying in the last 50, the new era is what I'm trying, or the last 10 years. Let's go the last 10 years. The last 10 years in this newer era of NFL. So I gotta put the Panthers at one. I think they're gonna end up picking top three. To be honest with you, my second worst is actually the Saints for me. Like the Saints, to your point, I mean they have talented pieces. They just, I don't trust the coaching. I don't trust the head coach. To be honest, I can't even name the head coach. They still got Kamara, but this man's career is literally just withering away. They've had some good pieces in the last few years, but the one thing that a lot of people forget is the cap is a real thing, and now they are in severe cap hell for the last 3 seasons, 4 seasons. They've been in cap hell. You can extend that for another 3, 4 seasons where they're gonna be in cap hell because of all the insane contracts that they ended up doing. Now the chickens came home to roost. I think that's how that saying goes, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So to me, definitely the Saints has got to be one of them. The next team that I gotta put here, which is funny, you forgot him. That's why I was like, wow, interesting. He didn't even mention
Yeah.
the Browns, and I was like, nah, you gotta name the Browns. I mean, this is when you have when you have five quarterbacks, you have no quarterback. And at this point, the best player they have is on defense, Miles Garrett. If you take a look at it, they've had opportunities in the last few years. Um, they have Chubb as a running back, who was amazing. Really didn't do much with him. They've had what do you call it? They've had Miles Garrett. They've had a decent defense. They have right now Jared Judy. They still haven't utilized some of these core pieces that have been good in their team, and these guys are kind of withering away. For me, that is a massive disservice to those players, and to me, with the craziness that's happening with the quarterback situation alone, that alone, nah, you're gonna be one of the bottom. They're definitely picking. They're picking top three. I mean, I can't think of anything else really other than that. Then I actually have the Indianapolis Colts as my next one. I think the Colts, unfortunately, they've got same scenario as the other ones. They got a couple good pieces. Jonathan Taylor, I think it's gonna be able to do some work in. They don't really have an O line like that, so we're gonna have to see how much he's able to go ahead and contribute. But realistically speaking, you have um you completely negated the fact that you have Anthony Richardson. You're not even giving him an opportunity to kind of really do his job. You're starting out with Danny Dimes, who now is on his journeyman journey. So it's like, what are we doing here? Again, another mishandled organization in the last 10 years. Well, this one I might have to go a little bit. I'd have to go 15 years. Their best player that they've had has been oh, QB, help me out real quick. He had to retire early because of the lack of O line.
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck. Suck for luck, man. I still remember that. Um, hey, shout out to Rolling with Carlos. Appreciate you, man. It was a pleasure being on your show. Guys, if you haven't done so already, go to Rolling with Carlos and Phins Talk with Carlos. Awesome, awesome show over there, guys. He's doing his lives now, so he's starting doing live shows. I was his first one, which is great. So thank you for having me, man. It was awesome earlier today. So please go check that out because awesome, awesome content. Absolutely appreciate that $2 dono. Thank you, man. Um, as far as the Colts, again, I just don't trust the Colts. I don't trust the organization. They just lost their owner. I think it's gonna be a hot mess for a while, unfortunately. I got them picking top five. And then last but not least, which hurts me because I love this team. I love this team. And the reason why I love this team is because I'm a Dolphin fan. And this team saved our perfect season record. And that's going to be the New York Giants. The New York Giants Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be doing much. They got Russell Wilson. He's been named their starting quarterback. They still got two more guys that are supposed to do it. Then and then what really are you gonna do expecting this what he's gonna end up doing in that organization? Give him like 3 4 weeks, he's gonna be done. So I don't trust him at all. I don't trust the organization, unfortunately, and I think it's gonna be kind of interesting to see them fail because I actually like the Giants, but those are gonna be my bottom five teams in the NFL. So it's a little bit different than yours. We got a couple that match, but it's a little bit different than yours. So not too bad. Not too bad with that one. Now, let's switch it up. Oh, actually, what did you think about my bottom five?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Giants are going to be better than some of the other teams. I think the Titans are in a real bad spot. So, but I mean, the Giants got a real tough schedule. I think we end up seeing Jackson Dart before the end of the season, and I like the kid's potential there. Um, but yeah, I mean, you can't really go wrong. I think the Panthers are probably better than the Saints, just from what we've seen at the end of the season from the Panthers. The Panthers were a pretty competitive team at the end of the year. It looked like Bryce Young had kind of like maybe turned a little bit of a corner the second half of the season. I mean, at one point it seemed like the Panthers were completely done with Bryce Young at the beginning of the season, which I was yelling for the Dolphins to trade for him because he is Tua Tagovailoa, right? He's a right-handed Tua Tagovailoa, and if Tua goes down, what better player to put it in his space than a player that has the same skill set as Tua? So I was eager for the Miami Dolphins to trade for Bryce Young, but uh, I just don't see anybody being as bad as the Saints. But yeah, I mean you're justifying your bottom five, absolutely. I think everybody that we named is definitely going to be battling for a top five pick in
Top
the
pick.
draft.
Absolutely. I agree. I wholeheartedly believe that. Shout out to Spirit Fingers, aka Gloria in the building. What's up, girl? Part of the ladies of football. I can't wait to see you tailgating this season. Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for the support. Hit that like button, guys. I see you, JD the Great in the building. Welcome, welcome, guys. Thank you so much for coming through. Okay, so that was our bottom five teams. Now we gotta talk about the top five. Go ahead. Who do you got the top five? Who do you think it's really gonna be making that push and gonna give us some postseason success, man? Because you gotta have postseason success to be top five, in my opinion. But what do you think? Who's gonna be top five?
Uh, I'm gonna say I'm gonna put Buffalo at five. Buffalo can't go no higher on this list because they can't beat the person that's ahead of them. At number four, I got Kansas City. Until Buffalo can beat Kansas City, they can't be on no list of mine ranked higher. Bottom
Wait,
line,
wait, 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 wait. So you got number five as Buffalo?
Buffalo.
Okay, okay. I think I'm getting some feedback. I don't know if you got the YouTube on. If you could just mute it so that way I'm not seeing it. But okay, you got Buffalo. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Who do you got for fourth?
Fourth, I got Kansas City. I got Kansas City. Uh, until
Okay.
someone in the AFC knocks these guys off, they're going to be in my top five. They continue to find their way into the Super Bowl somehow. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. That's just one of the greatest quarterback coach combos in NFL history. Uh, number
True.
three, I got the Lions. Uh, what a high powered offense they got. St. Brown, one of the best receivers in football. Uh, Jared Goff, he's rejuvenated his career with the Lions. Um, they get a lot of defensive pieces back that were hurt last year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they won 15 games last year with pretty much their whole defense on injured reserve. So I'm super excited to see them. At three, at number two, I got the Baltimore Ravens. I think they're the best team in the AFC. Lamar Jackson, the rightful MVP of last year, and
Mm,
Derrick Henry combo. Um, they added Jair Alexander to a already top secondary. Roquan Smith in the middle of that defense. They are going to be the top team in the AFC, I think. And number one overall, I got the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia is the most perfect built team that we have in the NFL. Uh, it's almost impossible to stop them in the run game. It is impossible to stop them with the tush push. If they get down the 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, it is a first down every time. If they get down in the red zone inside that 5-yard line, they are going to score a touchdown. They are just phenomenal. Howie Rossman continues the draft, just hit home runs in the draft. You know what I mean? They got Jaheed Campbell, who was I wouldn't have minded Miami taking him at 13. He was maybe the best middle linebacker coming out of Alabama, just an absolute beast. He falls to him all the way at the end of the first round. They got a gem, and they continue to get lucky like that. And their team is just it's stacked. And I wouldn't be surprised if Saquon went for 2,000 yards again this year.
2,000 yards. Hey man, would he be the first? I think he
Yep.
would actually be the very first running back to go back to back seasons. I know Adrian Peterson tried to do it, but he didn't come close.
He'd be the
Um,
first one to get it, regardless if it was back or not. He'd be the first one
he's
to
the
do.
yeah. You're saying he'd be the first one to get to 2,000 yard
Yep.
seasons, and then on top of that, to make it even harder, it would be back to back two
Yep.
thousand yard seasons. Yeah, man. Oh, we're gonna have some similarities with this. There's a couple of different ones to be honest with you. What's up? LA Ram in the building. Welcome, welcome. So as far as my top five that I got for this season, I think that there's some really good teams. There's some really good teams. It's funny though, but I like how we don't have the same teams.
Hmm.
I think that that's something that's exciting. Sorry, I literally there it is. Okay, I moved stuff around and didn't realize what I was doing for a second there. um, but yeah, hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. It does help out the channel. Thank you so much. I don't have the exact same five teams that you do, to be honest with you. But not by much. And let me explain. So I think it's kind of interesting, which is so annoying. So my fifth team. Oh wait, before I go, let me give you my opinion on yours. I think this is you definitely justified your top five. It actually makes sense. What you're saying. I totally understand where you're coming from, especially with Buffalo not beating Kansas City. Like until you do it, the same thing we say about the Dolphins. Until we
Yep.
beat them, we ain't beating them. It's gonna be like
Yep.
take out your ego, put it aside, because until we beat them, it's gonna be but Bills. You know what I mean? Getting it. So there's nothing we can do about that. Um, so I totally understand where you're coming from with that. I like what you said about the Lions. I think that they're still gonna have some success for sure. And then obviously it's kind of easy with Baltimore and the Eagles. I kind of agree, and we agree in some stuff, and you'll see when I talk to you about my top five teams. I think coming into this season. What's up, Linda? Welcome, welcome. Los Dolphin Addicts, welcome too, man. Appreciate you coming through, guys. Hit that like button. But actually, my fifth best team, funny enough, is actually gonna be the Bengals. I got the Bengals as the fifth best team. I think the Bengals, and I get it. A lot of people are gonna be like, "What do you mean, Miss Fins? They have no defense. They didn't really do much." I think they understand.
I'm one of those people.
I think it's hated. I can't wait till you recap this one. But yeah, like I get it. I totally understand. Which is funny. I had the Lions. It was between the Lions and the Bengals, but Lions I got six, so Bengals end up being my fifth best team. I get it. Not as much defense, but I think that this year, they've seen in the last 2 years what they've dealt with. It's gonna be their defense. You're bringing back your offense. You got so much in that offense. And on top of that, too, if we're thinking about it, they just brought Trey Henderson back. They signed him for that 1 year. They gave him more money. So this is something that you can expect for it to be an emphasis for them. Even though we haven't seen them make a lot of changes, I still think it's gonna be they don't need much when it comes to their defense. So even if let's say they were dead last year at 31, 32, if they can just bring that up to maybe 25 or even like 22, which is still bad. It's still one of the third worst defenses, but I think that'll actually be still enough for them to, with that power offense, for them to be very successful. So I actually have the Bengals at fifth. That's my team. Personally, I just don't. I'm telling you, this team. Maybe I'm going a little bit too high, but I trust that offense more than I do, honestly, any other offense except the Eagles. I think the Eagles is you can't. So but yeah, so I got the Bengals at fifth. Then for my fourth, which is kind of funny, I actually have what do you call it? I actually have Kansas City. Sorry, 1 second. So I've got actually Kansas City as the fourth best team. I understand where you're coming from as far as if you haven't beat the Bills. I mean, if the Bills haven't beat Kansas City, there's no way you're gonna be on top. And I get that, and I'm with you. I totally am with you. But I still think that Kansas City's gonna give us what they gave us the last couple of years, where they're not gonna be the best team. They're gonna be just above middle of the road, kind of like right off of like the top, and still make the playoffs and still somehow make the AFC championship. Like I truly do believe they're gonna still end up making the AFC championship because one thing that no other team has that the Bengals Kansas City has is the fact that they've learned how to succeed through failure. And what do I mean by that? They have had some nasty, ugly wins. They find a way to win, whether it's a good, pretty win, whether they're blowing out teams or barely winning by one. A team that can adjust like that and still have success, it is a dangerous team because you never know what to expect. So for me, shoot, I got Kansas City. I just don't know if I can put them any higher than that. And and then in turn, I got Buffalo at third. I think Buffalo is going to be the third best team here. They are going to I think well, let me correct that. Josh Allen is the third best team in the league because he is the Buffalo Bills. All of that goes down the drain if Josh Allen gets any injury this season. If he goes down even for a week, the Bills are done. They don't have no backups, they don't have no contingency. It is done. So for me, I've got the Buffalo Bills um being the third best team in the league. I don't think though if anything happens to and this is the thing, this is the other funny thing. They're gonna beat Kansas City in the regular season. Kansas City doesn't care. Because guess what? When it really matters, which is the postseason, Kansas City's still gonna beat the Buffalo Bills. And with that, I should say Kansas City's third and Buffalo fourth, but nah, I think overall I'm keeping Buffalo there, and then I gotta agree with you with the last two. I've got the Ravens as number two. To me, the Ravens last year I thought were gonna represent the AFC. So to me, I expect them to do the exact same. I think that um, the quarterback, Lamar has elevated his game and elevated his game. He now needs to see postseason success. That is his downfall. But I'm also not going to blame him like some people want to say it's all on him. Yes, he put his team behind the eight ball by having a couple turnovers that were on him. However, I'm not going to put his rookie wide receiver who fumbled at the 1 yard line, I'm not putting that on Lamar. I'm also not putting his veteran tight end again at the line catching or dropping a pass that was in the bread basket. That's not on Lamar. That's on the rest of the team. So that's why I can't 100% put that on him. So I will go ahead and say that if they could clean those little things up, now that Zay Flowers is gonna be coming in, having that year under him, having that kind of pressure off because he understands what it is to be playing at a high level. I think that this year we're gonna see a leap from him for Zay Flowers, and then I think having a supporting cast like he has, they just brought in. Um, they still got Bateman. They still got, like I said, Flowers. They have, what's the other receiver that they have? Which they've had again for the last couple of years. So they have continuity in that offense. I think Lamar's an excellent athlete and he's playing at the highest level. He should have won MVP last year. I'm 100% with you, which I actually find funny when you said it because I'm like, I totally agree. It should have never been. It should have never been Josh Allen. Not because I don't like Josh Allen. It's just I think Lamar Jackson had the much better year than Josh Allen. But that's just me. That's how I put it. And then last but not least, definitely the Eagles. I said this last year and I said this early last year. I think that the Eagles are the most complete team. I'm talking offense, I'm talking defense, I'm talking special teams. I haven't seen a more complete team like this because even the Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs when they won in 2017 versus the 49ers, they were not a complete team because they still had lackluster defense. It was a good enough defense to win them, help them win the Super Bowl, but they were led by that offense when it came to that Super Bowl. And the same thing with their second Super Bowl as well. It was only the last Super Bowl that they won, Kansas City, where Spagnola actually had that defense humming. So for me, I haven't seen a more complete team than the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they're going to represent the NFC again. And I think this time it's going to be Kansas City. Early Super Bowl prediction, people. It's going to be Ravens versus Eagles over there. And where are they playing this year? Somewhere in the desert. Is it the desert or is it LA? One of them.
I'm
San
not.
Fran,
I'm not.
maybe?
I'm not sure
Oh,
where it is this year.
yeah, so there you go. So my fifth best team is going to be the Bengals. Then I got Kansas City fourth, Buffalo third, Ravens second, and Eagles first. So I'm glad that we had some similar pieces, but we also had some changes too. So what did you think about my list, my top five?
Uh, the Bengals are way too high. They do have an elite offense, absolutely. But when you're talking top five teams, you gotta be better on the defensive side of the ball. You can't be one sided. Um, so I do think the Bengals. There's a couple teams better. I think Washington's probably better. Green Bay's probably better. Um, the Lions are better. I just think there's quite a few teams better. I think Cincinnati will be better. I think they did improve defensively, but not top five. You got Buffalo at 3. That's too high. I mean, when you got your whole team is predicated on one player, there's too many well-rounded teams for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills to be 5 and to be ahead of Kansas City, which we know Kansas City's going to knock them out the playoffs again. I mean, it is what it is, you know. Uh, but other than that, Philly, Baltimore, they are my Super Bowl pick this year too. They are clearly in my mind the two best football teams in all of football, and I definitely see that as a possible Super Bowl matchup.
Yeah, I agree too. I think that it's gonna be interesting. Now, ooh, a listener just put not having Washington top five is crazy. Not top five, but Washington is one to look out for. Well, hey, I mean, I get it.
They're right on the cusp. Washington's right there, like
Yeah,
6, 7, 8,
yeah,
somewhere in that range.
I agree too. I think they're because you can't. I mean, look at what happens with the Texans when CJ Stroud, got them all the way up to the divisional round. They still lost, but they still divisional round. Um, excuse me. Washington went all the way up to the AFC, NFC championship. So I can understand why a lot of people will want or think that they should be higher. I just don't think they're all the way there. That's the first year. My dad always says in football or in any sport, but really football, that first year is when the quarterback or that one special player has until the next year everybody's got film on you and they're gonna try to stop it. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be we got to see what he is this year. Is it going to be a sophomore slump, or is he going to add to it and then maybe perhaps knock out the Eagles? That would be nuts. If Jaden Daniel knocked off the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl, could we say we have a Mahomes 2.0 situation?
See, I think he's more like a Josh, or not a Josh Allen, but a Lamar Jackson. I think he reminds me of Lamar.
Mm, yeah. I mean, Lamar's pretty good, so that's
He's
not a.
definitely, yeah, he's definitely more athletic than what Pat is. I don't know if he's quite on Lamar's level, but I think he might throw the ball a little bit better than Lamar, so it evens out.
Mm, okay. Well, hey man, we got almost 60 of y'all in here. Go ahead and hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. Thank you so much. You can't hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? My
Yep.
camera went out for a second. Man, what a great show. What a great show. So I love it, guys. Stay tuned next week. Oh, which reminds me, stay on because I gotta talk to you right after. But next week we got more DMZ, ladies and gentlemen. So come check it out. Appreciate y'all. Do me a favor though. You cannot support us unless you do one thing. It's super simple, easy. I need you guys to go to Finn Posse Podcast. I need you to go subscribe to him. Right now, he's got 805 subscribers. We want to get him to 1,000, ladies and gentlemen. We can't do that ourselves. We need your help. So if you can do me a favor, everybody watching on Twitter and Twitch, thank you so much. Go over there to Finn's Posse Podcast, Finn Posse Podcast on YouTube, and go subscribe. Subscribe to Posse Podcast. Do you have? Oh, I'm gonna put it on here. I got you guys. I'm dropping the link real quick. Oh, I got you. YouTube.com/, Finn Posse, right? Right? It's
Yep.
Finn Posse.
Yep.
Wait, two E's, two S's. Yeah. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I just dropped it on there. Do me a favor. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link. I'm gonna put the link up here. Click that link right now. We want to get him to 1,000 subs. We can't do this without you guys. So please click that link. Come over here to YouTube so that way we can go ahead and get him going, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
The
Uh,
next the next episode of DMZ is going to be on my channel. If you like the show, you want to catch it next week, next Tuesday, it's going to be on my show next week, and then hers the following, and
we're
vice
gonna be switching
versa.
up, even though I was gonna say because I like even numbers, bro. Can I do next week and then you do following and then we can? Because that's the only thing. Because eight's my favorite number, but we can talk about that later. But regardless, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to go to Fin Posse Podcast. I just dropped the link. It's also in the description of this show. Go check it out because he's giving you content every day, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, guys. Right after you see Miss Fins at 8 a.m., go see Big C at Fin Posse Podcast so you guys can continue to get some great Dolphins content just like you do when you come over here to watch Miss Fin. So, man, talk to them about your channel. Talk to them about your channel because I want them to know exactly what they're getting for that.
Well, after my first off season, which was very difficult, coming up with content on a consistent basis 5 days a week is hard during the off season. We finally got football, breaking down uh, each and every game, uh, talking about every aspect of this football team. I am a Dolphins fan through and through. Been a Dolphins fan for 35 plus years, and I'm super excited for the season. And if you're looking for a positive yet true perception of the Miami Dolphins, come check it out. We have a good time over there. I keep it real. Try to keep it real.
Let them know about your other channel too that you do.
Oh yeah, we got Game Changers. Me and my cousin Mike. We do a show Monday and Friday evening, 7 p.m. Game Changers with a Z. Uh, we have a great time over there. We break down the whole NFL. We talk about each and every team, all the hot topics in the NFL that's going on. We do a weekly power rankings, a weekly pick'em show. We talk about fantasy over there. We talk about FanDuel. You like to place bets? I give you my top bets for the week. I've been pretty successful over there. I've won thousands upon thousands of dollars on FanDuel. So I'm something of a little connoisseur of it, and I can help you out, put some
What?
dollars in your pocket. So
Hey, you want money? You see him on the channel. Go check him out. It's Game Changers, ladies and gentlemen. You can find the link to that channel and that show on his Fan Posse podcast channel. So go check that out. Man, okay, I do have to put this disclaimer. All of this is for entertainment purposes. Thank you so much. We we don't provide any betting and blah blah blah. So don't come after us because this is for entertainment purposes only. You gotta say that. You know what I mean? The lawyers, they
yeah,
they are what they are. Big C did give away 1,000 catch, FYI. Hey, that's right. When you got 500 subs, right?
yep. I think it was 700. I gave out another 500. Uh, when I get to 1,000 subs, another big giveaway. Um, yeah.
Ooh.
So as soon as I hit 1,000, if you can prove that you're subscribed and you show up to that giveaway show, $1,000 in your pocket. I do giveaways with jerseys. I'm thinking about redoing my podcast room. Actually, I know I'm going to be redoing it. I got this autographed Merino jersey behind me. Maybe that could look nice in your house.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're not gonna get better than this. So I need y'all to go over there. I dropped the link. So go over there, the Finn Posse podcast. It is linked in the chat, guys. It's also in the description of the show. Hey, Big C, give me your final thoughts, man, before we close this puppy out.
Miami winning this week. Week 1 football is here. I got the Fins 27-13. We put a beating on Danny Dimes. We hold Jonathan Taylor under 60 yards rushing, and Tyreek gets into the end zone with his fake oblique injury.
You know what? It wouldn't be DMC without a hot take like that. So I love it, ladies and gentlemen. I definitely think that this gonna be a win for us because if it's not, and by the way, fun fact. Knock on wood, ladies and gentlemen, Mike McDaniel has been very successful in all his home openers. So we're gonna continue that streak, baby. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to say it the other way because but I'm knocking on some wood. We're about to beat Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes. Like, what are people talking about? So yeah, we got this. Dolphins are winning, and you guys heard it. If you're just coming in now, thank you so much. Go check out and replay this show. Awesome, awesome DMZ for you guys. Take care, guys. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Bye.